What's worse, YouTube comment section or Reddit comment section on a popular page? It's definitely the YouTube comment section. I'm not specifically referring to my own here. That's a strong team. Like the YouTube comment section is where insane people go to talk to each other or to talk to themselves in public. You will see the craziest comments of your life in the YouTube comments. And if you're like, that doesn't sound like me and I comment, you're probably right. No need to leave an insane comment on this VOD. But all I'm asking you to do, if you're like, that doesn't sound right, don't read like the top comment that says, oh, he should have bought lion, hippo. Scroll down to like the bottom where people say the things that they think in their head and should never ever utter in public. What about YouTube versus a news website? Okay, a local newspaper's comment section is definitely like, it's close to YouTube comments. Because think about like the small subset of humanity that reads a local newspaper's website and then writes a comment. Please read the comments for the Transformers What I've Done music video. It's actually insane. Okay, Transformers What I've Done. It's gonna start playing early. I gotta hit the pause button ASAP. Okay, I paused it. 10 million views. It's still playing! Scuba Steve the first, thanks for the gifted subscriptions, thank you. Out of all the Transformers movie, the first Transformers movie that came out in 2007 was the best. So true. So true. We all love the first movie because of two reasons. Nostalgia, and the first movie is usually the best. Simple but yet true. Anyway, it is a truly epic film. Winky smiley face. Bold text. Time is moving too fast. ... I am Optimus Prime, and I send this message to any surviving Autobots taking refuge among the stars. We are here. We are waiting. Remember to see for the first time those giant robots transformed into vehicles with these impressive special effects for the first time? It was magical. I love Transformers because of two reasons. Linkin Park, heart emoji. Transformers is the best film, heart emoji. I love it because of Linkin Park and because it's the best movie. Okay. We will all miss these franchises and we will keep them in our hearts forever. That fucking nostalgia, I feel old as shit even though I'm only 16. Oh my god. These comments are doing psychic damage for me. I do want to say though, I want to take a shot at my own generation because there was a post that went viral. It was like a One Direction stan Twitter account. And it was like, can you imagine how amazing it would have been to be a teenager in 2014? And then the quote tweet was like, I promise you it wasn't that good. But like my generation does the same shit. Just let the kids be kids, man. Like people in my generation will be like, oh, imagine like wanting to be a teenager when you would like, when, for us it was like when 9/11 happened. Yeah, but like people that were my age were going, oh my God, it would have been so cool to be like in college in like 1994. Can you imagine? Like every generation is always like, oh man, like 10 years ago would have been a great time to be the age that I am right now. The trilogy were the best ones, but the first always hits different. For being over 13 years old, it's still one of the best movies I've ever seen. This is about Transformers 1. That's so funny. This reminds me of the good times, when friends weren't enemies, when fun was all around, when there were no limits, when all who complained we're dealt with. I always try to rewatch this movie whenever I can just to reignite my love for it. I feel like it has made me who I am as a person in this way. This Transformers movie will always be my favorite. Try to change my mind. Hey, good opinion. The only good live-action Transformers movie. Just had to scroll a little bit. This all felt like yesterday. Not a worry insight. Just loving Transformers. And well, I was a kid, and let me tell you, growing up is a thing. Stay young, kids. And then they put the okay hands emoji. This is crazy, man. I don't know what's going on in here. Transformers beautifully fit and reciprocated the US military in the movie. It used the best car designs to fit the Autobots and Decepticons' personality. A masterpiece of sci-fi mixed with reality. What the hell are you talking about? I would sacrifice everything to get back to this time. You would sacrifice everything to be able to go watch Transformers 1 in the theaters? I should probably start playing the game again. Anyway, sorry, I got a little stun lock there. I shouldn't judge too much. I want to say most of the people leaving the comments are like 14 years old, but they're not. They probably saw Transformers when they were like 8 and it became a formative memory. And now they're like dealing with the fact that they feel like they're getting old for the first time. And they're like, oh, I wish I could go back, which is fair. That's a natural thing that I think people go through, okay? I'm not trying to be a hater. It is funny that he said he feels old as shit even though he's only 16. That's a hilarious comment. I started feeling old at 10 because it's double digits. I remember I had a friend in university who said that he turned 20 and he was like, I'm getting old. And I was only 19 and I was like, what are you talking about? You can't call yourself old when you're 20 just because you're the oldest person like in your house of 6 people. But your mind was older. I just turned 20 and I feel old. You're actually like, okay, I was gonna say stupid, but I don't mean that. You're always gonna feel old because you're the oldest you've ever been. There's not gonna be a day in the future where you're gonna wake up and be like, man, I feel like young today. You're always gonna be older tomorrow than you were yesterday. It's just that, I'm sorry, I know we talk about this all the time, but it's when you're young, the first time you feel old is you're like, oh, a movie I saw in theaters came out 10 years ago. It just had its 10-year anniversary. I'm so old. When you're actually old, you're like, my friends are dying, like of natural causes. Oh, like I fell down and I need to go to the hospital for like 6 weeks. That's what being old is, man. Being old is like when you suffer something that's injurious and you need help to heal. Being old is when you're driving and you signal to change lanes and then like 20 miles down the road, you're like, what the hell, my signal light's still on. But you didn't notice because you were like, Peg, it will come back to you. You know what I mean? It's not when there's people that are younger than you. That's not what being old is. Being old is when you're listening to Steely Dan in your car and calling people bozos when they run the red light. If you're going to run the red light, at least run the red light fast so I can turn left. I am 21 and saw a friend of mine get married. It's so weird. Yeah, well, like, get used to it. What do you mean it's so weird? It's like the most normal thing that could ever happen. You know, you saw an adult friend of yours get married. It's normal as you'll probably do it like 2 times a year for the rest of your life. 21 is pretty young for that. Yes, correct. Say 21 is pretty young. Ergo, when you see 2 21-year-olds get married, you should not feel old because they're young and you're their age. You should be like, glad that's not me if you don't agree with what they're doing. That doesn't mean you're old because they're getting married. I had a classmate who had a kid in the 11th grade. I didn't go, I feel old. I was like, well, I did not see that coming. I do feel a little old that I have a friend who has like a 10-year-old now. I'm 33. I have a friend who has a kid that will enter high school in like 3 years. That's going to be when my friend's kid becomes the age that I was when I met my friend. I think that'll be like another tipping point. And then somebody who's 80 will be like, you know, oh, you think you're old? Well, like I lived through fucking like the Korean War. And I'll be like, okay, fair. You're older than me. Shut up and turn off your signal light.